Hello, everyone that's deciding to join in live today. Anybody that's deciding to witness this afterwards. We're going to go through a self-massage flow. I'm really excited to do this the first time on Instagram Live. It'll probably be about 20 minutes, and while I'm going to be doing it seated today and on my mat, just to encourage how fun it can be to just get on the ground. You might find a lot of the techniques are going to be really applicable to be sitting in a chair or lying in a bed, wherever you find yourself most comfortable. So it's great to see you, to be here as a witness, flow along with me if you'd like, or just learn, observe and see if you can witness what moves within you and your body just by being a witness today. It's such an amazing platform that we get to connect in this space. And I know a lot of people that follow me were really drawn to this page, particularly because of the self-massage. Like how amazing it is that we get to touch and soothe our bodies or get familiar with being accepting of touch, because some people were unfamiliar with going to a massage session and getting a massage for themselves. So let's get more familiar. We're going to do it by starting warming up the body, allowing our bodies to be receptive to the tissues change that we might experience throughout this whole process. So I'd like you, if you're going to be flowing along with me, to get yourself seated in a comfortable space and just take in maybe a quick observation, allowing your senses to be grounded in the space you're in, and be an observer to that what might be neutral or pleasant, safe enough, good enough for this moment, and allowing that kind of proprioception to support you in getting grounded in your body. Because we're going to be doing a lot of interoception, which is kind of connecting to the body internally and to the senses and the sensations of the body. But we always know that we can kind of change our attention outwards if it's ever too much for the inside of the body. So just playing with that oscillation at your own pace. And I see some waving. Hello, great to have you here. So let's do what I like to do a lot when I get into my self-massage practice is starting with a body scan, but a little bit more active body scan. So we're going to bring awareness to our body and different body parts, dropping away a little bit from the mind into the nervous system and all the unique connection points. And we're going to do it by also attending to the joints that our muscles kind of glide over and connect to. So let's start by just bringing our attention to our right toes, dropping down, feeling what your right toes feel like, and perhaps doing a little wiggle, little squeeze of the right toe. Just feeling that sensation, and if ever too much, you just bring your attention out. And now bring your attention to your right ankle, and then invite a right ankle rotation. And this is going to be warming up all the muscles, because all of our muscles are inserting and attaching around these joints. So this is really important to warm it all up. And let's now bring our attention to our left toes and squeeze. Noticing the neutral and pleasant sensations there. And then the left ankle, rolling it out. Side to side. And then just bring your attention and awareness to your right shin, your right calf, your left shin, and your left calf, and then your right knee. And perhaps with your right knee, you do a couple bends, just gentle, noticing if there's any nitrogen bubbles releasing or any sensations there that might be neutral or pleasant for you. And if the unpleasant ones come up, just notice, and then we move through to the next part of the body scan, attending to the left knee now. So we see the left knee, and we attend to it, and then let's do a little bit of rotate, just gentle movement of that left knee. Just warming up those muscles. Great. And now to your hips, bringing your attention and your body scan to your hips, your upper thighs, the back of your thighs, your pelvis, and then rotating side to side, bringing your knees to each side of your body. This is kind of a windshield wiper move, and feeling the sensations all around your hips and your lower legs, your upper legs, as you release and open up the attachments around the hips. And then getting into a cross-legged seat if that's available to you, or it's okay to keep your legs out as well, but I'm gonna find more comfort for myself if I am in a cross-legged. And we're bringing attention and a body scan to the abdominal walls, the low back, the trunk as a whole. And we are going to do some rotations around the spine and the hip, allowing your body to move, just gently warming it all up, noticing the sensations, but not fixating or releasing at our own pace. And beautiful. Now move up your awareness to your upper chest, your upper back, and now to your shoulders, and gently moving your shoulders backwards, a few rotations, and then forward a few rotations. And perhaps playing a little bit with the speed in which you go. Maybe a little bit, just play with the range of motion in which you move your shoulders. All beautiful. To just experiment and be kind of curious about what this body can do and its limits and its thresholds. And then we're going to do our rotations of our neck now, warming up all the muscles and joints, lubrication of the joints in the neck, all the way around. And if you've seen my videos in the past, you've seen me talk about not needing to hyperextend the neck with these neck rolls. You don't need to bring your neck all the way back when you reach to the top of the neck rolls. It's okay to just kind of keep it gentle. Some people like to just make small little circles with their nose too. If you have a lot of neck pain, really gentle movements of the cervical spine. Play, 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 play. But we're just gonna warm up with this. And now we're gonna move to our hands, which are gonna be our awesome workers today as we do the more active self-massage components. Hands have the largest representation in the brain for both dexterity and sensation. And so we're gonna use that awesomeness of the brain and the hand connection. So just go ahead and start by gripping your hands together and playing with some rotations of the wrists. Say thank you for all you do in my life, hands. And then we're going to do a couple compressions of the fingers. And so we have these 3 different sections of the fingers, using your other hand to squeeze, compress, and then work up to that second zone, squeeze and compress, and then to the top. And of course, finding the limits of your own body, not extending it. We're not causing pain here. We're causing pleasure and support, going at the pace of the body. Okay. And now just do some nice squeezes of the hand as we're getting these hands warmed up. We want them to be responsive to the muscles as we go along in self-massage. So lots of squeeze. And then we're going to lighten our pressure and explore what it feels like to just do light fingertips of glazing over the wrist and then around the hands. And noticing if there's any shifts at all when you shift from that more compression to this just lighter touch, this gentle sensation. Can you feel it differently in your body? How does it register? Is it pleasant, unpleasant, or just neutral? Creating that awareness and starting there. Beautiful. And I know everybody's probably done this before. We have this a long time ago, and probably when we're young, our inner child is going to be happy, where we warm up the hands by just bringing friction to the hands, feeling the heat rise. And this is going to lead us into our compressions and a little bit more active self-massage part. So once your hands are nice and warm, we're going to start by bringing that to your occipitofrontalis muscle. So your hand's going to lie on your forehead and then right above the base of your skull. So that's where the frontalis muscle is, the occipitalis muscle, and then the gallia aperneurotica connects it all. Just holding there, just feeling that sensation of that heat warming the head, just that connection to the space and the intention you might be setting with these muscles and these release. And just maybe increase the pressure a little bit, again, not for pain, but just to bring a little bit more blood flow. And then lighten it. And then squeeze it and lighten. And let's keep warming up the face. And so let's do some same things on the temple, right around the temples. So the sides of your forehead is the temporalis muscle. So squeeze maybe a little bit. And then release. And gentle pressure in. And release. It's a nice calming effect. Just I can feel it in my heart space, just feeling nice and relaxing. And many people in my stories said that they were coming to this live in order to receive some relaxation. So I hope that is your experience. Let's keep going and warming up. Let's get our masseter muscle, some nice gentle face holding with your hands. The masseter muscle connects here to here. You guys might have actually found me with my masseter muscle tip. That was what got me viral. Such an important part of the body to release. If we have any sympathetic arousal in our bodies, we tend to clench our jaw. And there's the vagus nerve that runs this area as well. So any release, we can just warm up that area before we get into it deeper. And then how about we just do some nice holding around the neck. We're not going to do any compressions here, just feeling that warmth of your hands, holding just to the, your fingertips should not be pressing on your spine. We never press on the spine. So their fingers are just going to be lateral to it, just to the side of it. And then the hands and the palms warming up the sternocleidomastoid, the scalenes, all the deep internal parts of the throat. Beautiful. And then let's also get some compression and holding of the shoulder. So just pressing into the trapezius here. A lot of people tend to go really deep. This is an area that sensation sometimes is lacking, or we feel a lot of tension. But I'm going to invite you to just be gentle with your pressure and try to experiment with lightening a lighter, more broader pressure. And we'll get into the acupressure points here later, but just holding like this gently. And then going onto the other side as well, just pressing in, a broad, gentle pressure, warming up the upper shoulder, the trapezius, that tends to hold a lot for so many of us. And again, light and then a little deeper, but we're not increasing our pressure quite yet. We're still warming this whole area up. Beautiful. So let's now do some more active self-massage of this area. Try to get some releases. So let's start with the occipitalis muscle in the back. This might be a little funny as I'm recording backwards, but we want to get to the thicker parts, the thicker belly parts of the muscle is where we have the nerve endings are attached, and that is actually the points where with the least amount of pressure, we can actually experience a greater release. And so finding those that thicker belly part of the muscle can help you release it for yourself. And a lot of acupressure points are connected to these nerve endings. And some aren't, some are not, but a lot are. So the occipitalis muscle is just right above the base of your skull and just about an inch out from the center. And you can just massage by some nice circular motions here. And using your two fingers to get in there, experimenting with your pressure. Sometimes your impulse or your instinct is to go very deep, but it might actually be interesting to try something different. That's not perhaps your first impulse. Wonderful. And then let's tap all the way up the Gallia aponeurotica to the frontalis muscles. And then back down. And then back to the frontalis muscles. And then we're going to do some Z strokes, just like this. Some of you might have seen this featured on my content on my page. And I feature a lot of my favorite things on my page because they work. And I wanted to get that access to you. But it is something beautiful to weave these all together in your practice. Okay, so we had some nice release there. And let's just do some nice temple rubs. Going from your eyebrows to the temples and then rotating your fingers. Two to three fingers is typically enough. for the pressure wise. Sinking in and maybe even doing a nice little scan from the top of your head all the way down to the bottom of your sacrum, along your spine, and then back up again. Feeling all this unique interconnection of all these parts. Okay. And then we're going to do our masseter muscle. Like you use your thumbs to press underneath the chin. Just going along there. It's a little hard since I'm talking, but you can experiment with putting your thumbs in, hooking the thumbs underneath the jawline and putting pressure along that. And of course you can be using oil too if that's interesting to you and you have good facial oil or any oils you like to use on your face. Personally, as a massage therapist, I love effleurage, which is the nice long flowing strokes. It really warms up all the tissues. It's a little harder to do that self-massage live on the body, but it's something that you might experience and experiment with. And then now let's put our pressure on the masseter muscle at the very bottom, clenching your jaw if you're having any trouble finding it. It's the one that protrudes outwards. And then you're going to glide up with your 2 to 3 fingers to the zygomatic arches, which is where it attaches, while you open your mouth. So like this. And then, yeah, maybe sigh, maybe a little bit as you release some of this tension you're holding in your jaw. Let's do it 3 times together. So one more time. And let's just do some nice rubs right at the base of that zygomatic arch where the masseter muscle attaches. It's kind of the thickest part of the muscles right in here. So just do some like nice ribs. Touching your face. Believing you're worthy of release. Okay. Some people will be into this and some won't. We're going to do some nice ear pulls. Some I just find in my practice, some really enjoy the ear pulling, some hate it, don't want their ears to touch, but if you're okay with it, experience just rubbing from the top of the cartilage all the way down to the bottom and then giving it a nice tug. And this actually helps release a lot of the muscles in the neck and can help improve range of motion on any side that there might be some challenging with some range of motion. It's really great seeing that some like comments and some connections with you all over the live platform. It's hard for me to read and guide at the same time. You know, if you guys are interested in the future doing like a Q&A or anything like that, it could be fun, or just an opportunity for us to go live and connect a little bit more actively. Okay, once you're done pulling, let's do a sternocleidomastoid release. And so the sternocleidomastoid attaches at the mastoid process, the clavicle and the sternum. And so I have a pretty prominent sternocleidomastoid, just genetically. And so mine's pretty cool to be able to find and locate, and not everybody pops out as much. And that doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It just means that you kind of have to do a little bit more palpation to find it. But I find that leaning your head to the side and finding the muscle belly like will protrude out when you lean your head to the side, so that can be an easy way to locate it. And then you bring your head back up, and I'm holding and pinching. And this can be a sensitive muscle, so don't be surprised if you grab it and it kind of comes back out, kind of jumps back out, jumps back into its place. It's a sensitive little bugger. So just take your time with it. Maybe today is not the day that you can pinch it and hold those trigger points, but know that it's there and that it has a lot of release opportunity as you get to know it more. And if it's difficult to get into the belly of the muscle, for any muscles really, it could be helpful to just be at the insertion and attachment sites. And so for the masseter muscle, again, or sternocleidomastoid, rubbing at the mastoid process, it just tucks right behind your ear. It's that bony protuberance kind of is at the side of your skull, can help with the release. And then also just a little bit of friction, gentle friction at the sternum and clavicle point. This can be a little bit more tender. Okay. And then we can release this one as well. And so leaning your side of your head, grabbing the belly of the muscle, bringing it back up, And when we release this muscle, we're releasing this muscle, which is great in itself, but it can have a ripple effect on the body. It can help release headache tension. It can help with the range of motion. It can also help with breathing deeper, since all of these neck muscles can help with our accessory to the lungs' ability to create space and expand your lung capacity. So lots of benefits here with self-massage. There's probably find whole books on all the benefits of touching and benefiting from release of different muscles. And then again to the insertion and attachment sites at the mastoid process. And then down, a little friction here at the sternum and clavicle, really gentle, pressing in a little bit there, hooking your fingers a little bit underneath. And at any point, if you kind of like, I need a little bit more time compared to what we're spending on that area, just take note of that and then move through. Wow, I already see it's already 20 minutes in, but I'm going to keep flowing along because it feels good. So let's do a little bit more shoulder release. Hook your hand around your back and connect your fingers to the top of your shoulder blade, just right off the edge of the shoulder blade, closer to about 2 inches to the left of your spine. Hook your finger in, and that's the belly of the trapezius there, and then just kind of glide your shoulders back and forth. And feel the tissues move beneath your fingertips. And then play with your fingers a little bit more, just bringing them around. And if you are pregnant, it's important to practice some caution around this area. No deep pressure here. It can connect to some contractions in the uterus. It's okay to have broad, open pressure here, but no deeper work in this area, and unless you have guidance of a massage therapist that you're working with. Since we just released a little bit of the shoulder, let's go into the pectoralis major. And so the pectoralis major attaches in the sternum, and then over here in the side of your arm, your humerus. And so it kind of expands around this chest area, and it can hold a lot of tension, especially if you're used to concaving a bit while you're on the computer, on the phone, or even just like emotional tension and kind of feeling helpless or struggling at all. And so what we're going to do is just massage around the sternum, right to the side of the sternum, and then up right across the clavicle. And then once we get to the belly of the muscle, which is right medial to the armpit, we're going to get in there with our fingers and just feel that meaty part of the muscle release. Some people like a little cross fiber friction there too. And I love this area in the self-massage because some people don't like having this area worked on by a massage therapist. And so knowing that you have the power with your hands to kind of release this area in your body. Okay, and then let's move to the other side, wrapping your left hand over your right shoulder, hooking your finger in right above your shoulder blade, and then moving your shoulders right back and forth. And then playing around with where you're putting your fingers just to experience what the tissues feel like as you're releasing them. Yeah, I see a comment, noticing how one side might be easier than the other one. Super interesting. And just allowing that curiosity to be there, be a part of this practice for you. And then let's get into the pectoralis major on this side, right along the sternum. And then along the clavicle, right underneath. And then into the belly of the pectoralis major, because it stretches across and helps with this movement. Get into that belly of that muscle, as we know that those bellies of the muscles require less pressure in order to actually release the whole muscle. So that's pretty neat. We think sometimes we actually need to dig deeper in those, and that's actually the spot where we can be a little bit lighter with our muscle pressure and still experience the benefit. Awesome. So glad you all are flowing along with me, and let's move to our. Let's move to our lower parts of our body. There's like 650 muscles in the body. So as you can see, that's why I've done. We're already at 20 minutes, and we have so much more of the body to touch and massage. but really kind of communicates to me the importance of doing these and connecting different body parts and slowing down and really getting into different parts at different times. So let's just warm up the legs with some compressions, squeezing the calves, getting the blood flow activated in there. And some people will benefit from two hand compressions. And it feels really good because you can put your thumbs just lateral to the tibialis muscle, or tibialis bone. And so you can kind of press in to the tibialis anterior with your thumbs while you're squeezing the gastrocnemius and the back. And if I'm saying these muscles and you're not familiar, it's okay. It's okay to self-massage without knowing exactly the muscles. It helps because you can be guided by the insertion and attachment sites. But ultimately, the greatest knowing is the feedback your body is giving you in each moment. So compressing, compressing, compressing each side. And then let's do the same with the upper thighs. Playing around, squeezing, perhaps some shaking. That feels good. I really like, and it feels good on my body, to use my fingers to press into the hamstrings and wiggle. Can feel really releases a lot of tension for me, all the way down to the hip and then back up. And doing the other side, compressions, wiggles, warming it up. Okay, let's do some releases of the quadriceps. And so using your thumbs to press in just I was going to say north of the knee. I guess that's not quite accurate, but just above the knee. There's going to be two bellies of the muscles where if you just put your hands draped around your quadriceps, your thumbs will kind of lie on that thicker parts of the quadriceps and just press in to that area and do some nice rotations like this kneading that your favorite massage therapist probably does throughout your whole body when you go and get a massage, and just kind of experimenting with your own kneading abilities. But the part of the quadriceps right above the knee are actually the thicker parts where those nerve endings come out, where you actually find more release. So here I am, as you can see, my thumbs just now getting a little bit more kneading involved, squeezing and pulling this thicker part of the muscle. Love it. And let's do the other side here too. Draping your hands around, allowing your thumbs to just fall right above your knee, and then kneading. Pressing in with your thumbs to these thicker parts that you're finding. You have to palpate when you get kind of your fingers get more sensitive the more you do it, to understanding and connecting to these parts of your body. So if today you're like, what? I can't find the thicker part of my muscle, it's okay. We're all in this together. And just by witnessing and being curious, you're inviting a new relationship to your body and caring for it. Okay. Lots of good muscle release there with this kneading. And let's do some IT release. So your IT band attaching just below your knee all the way up into your femur. And so we're just going to press in. This is a leg that I had a pretty bad accident in, and so this one's more sensitive than the other side. And I find that releasing the IT band can really help with my movement. And so then we're going to do some cross fiber friction. So the IT band fibers run up the leg, and so cross fiber means going across it. So we're going to put our fingers into the IT band, and we're just going to go all the way up it. A couple times. And I know whether you're actively involved in the self-massage or if you're just witnessing, that your body is benefiting. And let's do the other side. Compression of that IT band. And you can do this seated too. I'm quite flexible in my body, and so I can kind of get into some of these positions, but again, experimenting with what access points and what positions allow you to access these parts of your body. All right, And because of time, we're gonna be gently just like winding down, but I wanna get to our feet since our feet hold so much. And so let's just end the practice by finding the pressure point that's just, you have this big, here's my foot, big protuberance here and your big toe attaches. And so I want you to just go inward about an inch and press in and just hold that. And this is along the kidney meridian, and it's very helpful in relaxing the full body. And so doing a couple circles with your thumbs can feel great. And just holding, celebrating this time that you've set aside for yourself to just learn or to witness or to experience what it's like to just touch in and self-massage. And let's do some just nice squeezes of the foot. Could probably spend a whole hour just doing some self-massage of the foot, but today just a little moment. And then same thing, finding that bony protuberance and then going in just about an inch and then pressing in. Holding, perhaps doing some gentle circles. And then squeeze. And we're gonna end with some nice tapotment. Tapotment is the term in Swedish massage for the pounding, the gentle pounding. This can be really invigorating for the cells, but if you're pregnant, I do not recommend tapotment because your blood volume is expanded, and so you can actually have more bruising. And so just gentle tapotment for all those non-pregnant individuals out there, throughout the whole body, from the toes, up the calves, up the legs. I do like a nice little like fist like this, and I loosen my wrist, and that feels good for me. Some people like to do cups. Experiment though with what feels good for you. If you're looking for a more gentler cool down, you might consider just going into like a child's pose and allowing your voice to release. Some deep sighs or some deep releases of your voice can help shift you into just a more relaxation state. But I know some of you, it's kind of the middle of the day, so we just want to kind of keep going with the day, more invigorating, waking up, saying thank you, acknowledging that there's a lot more you can do self-massage wise. Of course, there's always more, but today we're proud of what we did. Okay, nice tapotment down through the body. Thank you everybody for witnessing live. Thank you anybody that's watching this afterwards and learning along with me. This is a practice that I've developed just from my 10 years of a massage therapist and also working in the mental health world, wanting more people to feel connected and compassionate and curious about this body of yours. And so thank you. I do welcome feedback, constructive feedback. You can send it via DM or in the little live chats if you're interested. And I'm just going to keep tapotment in a way because it feels really good, especially in the head. Feel free to kind of log off at your own time. Thank you for being here. Until next time.